last year. The team was 4-0. Lost that first game, that fifth game. How do you avoid, going into this next season or this next part of your season? Finished 4-4 last year, but how do you avoid having another letdown like that?
It's not about last year. We're not looking at it like that. It's about how you handle a loss. Teams can either use it as fuel, or they can harp on the loss and worry about what they did wrong and focus on the negative part, or you can use it as the upside, and you can use the film and get better and go from there. It's not about last year or anything like that. It's about moving forward.
How are you feeling after the game the other day?
I'm walking around alive and well. I'm good. Ready to start practice today.
Baker, what do you last two games you've taken a lot of hits because it seems like you've had to hold the ball longer than you want to. What can you do to fix that?
I just got to get the ball out of my hands quicker. There's some things, look back on the film, could have helped the O-line out a little bit more, and so I got to have a little give and take there, distributing the ball. I got to be smart. I mean, I'm going to take hits. It's football. It's what I signed up for. I know that, but at times I can get the ball out of my hands a little bit quicker.
Having said that, how much more help do you need from your line?
I mean, they know what they need to fix. It's apparent. We struggled a little bit, and it happens at times. Texas got after us up front, and they knew early on they had to get after us early. That's what they planned for TCU too. They blitzed them early, and that was their game plan. And since it was working on, they kept doing it. And so we just needed to make an adjustment. We'll fix it, and move on.
How's the morale of the team after the loss? Everybody still up?
Everybody's up. We looked at it. Everybody's. You're pissed off. You lose the Red River game. Obviously, it's not a good feeling. It's a long bus ride back, but we're not even halfway through the season, and that's what we told the guys. And like I said, you can't harp on it. You can either move forward. 2 years ago, we lost this game, and then the team moved on to win the Sugar Bowl. So got to be positive and just take it and move on.
Does it make you look back at last week at all and the way you guys prepared to try and find some reason for why things went the way they did?
No, I think we practiced well all week. We knew that they were going to come in and give us their best shot. We came out a little flat and didn't execute early on. And like I've been saying it all year, you can't start slow. It's going to eventually bite you right in the butt, and it did. So we just got to fix it.
You say you came out flat. Do you think that was some guys just thinking after they gotten beat 50-7 you didn't have to bring that type of intensity?
I don't know if it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's overlooking them. I don't feel like we did our basic job and executed. We thought we could get by without focusing on the details like we normally do, and so we saw that on film, and we know we have to do our job and our job only.
So that's your definition of flat?
Energy-wise, it wasn't like West Virginia where they came out talking crap and we got pissed off. And, that's not going to happen every game. You have to bring your own energy no matter who you're playing. And, it just seemed like we weren't focused on the details enough.
It's kind of, with all due respect, playing Texas, it's just kind of hard for most of us to fathom that the energy wouldn't be there to play the University of Texas.
Well, yeah, the energy outside of the program is not what we're worried about. The program and the team's focused on the game. Like I said, it wasn't like we were focused on the media outside of everything. We could care less what's going out the game. We're just focused on the game, and we didn't execute our little job. Like I said, the details.
Baker, when you have a rushing difference like there was in Saturday's game, a lot of folks jump to there was a toughness issue. Were you guys tough enough to win that game Saturday, the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, we were tough enough. We're a tough group. It's just the fact that we had some things that didn't go our way. They broke a couple long runs that at times were the turning point in a momentum. And the fact that we couldn't get our run game established, we haven't been where we wanted to be all year. And so that was nothing new. We just needed to execute our quick game. There were some routes that were pretty open. I missed looking on the film, and then couple passes I missed. We just need to execute. It's not about being tough. It's just doing our job.
Baker, do you think are there enough boots and movement for you outside of just being in the pocket a lot, or do you think that you guys will need to be, or are you planning to implement some of that?
I don't think we need to change anything. Like I said, just execute. There's nothing special we need to game plan for anybody else. We're good enough. We have the talent. We can execute. I feel like we can just go out and fix our job, and we'll be fine.
There's kind of a debate around the country with college football programs about not wanting to be physical in practice so you're healthy for games. Do you feel like you guys are physical enough in practices to develop that toughness that you're looking for?
We get after it in practice. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we go up against the defense. I mean, we get physical with each other. We have Mondays and Thursdays are our lighter days, and so, I mean, we get after it. It's not a matter of being tough in practice. I mean, we just need to play a little bit faster. I mean, the toughness is going to come. You know what you have to strap on and prepare for on Saturdays. We just need to play a little bit faster.
It seemed like the story of your day offensively was the 6 sacks. You guys were in long yardage, and that kept you from ever getting really into any kind of tempo. Is that kind of how you saw it?
It killed us. I mean, the long yardage, when it's 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 10 or more, it's not very many teams are successful with that. I mean, you look at our stats, 3rd and short and 3rd and medium, we're in the top 10 in the country executing that. So if we can get into those manageable situations, I mean, we'll be fine. It's just the fact that we keep shooting ourselves in the foot and getting in those long yardage types of plays, and I mean, it's hard for any team to do that when defense can drop back and play coverage.
How hard is it for guys like Samaj, Joe Mixon, just how hard is it to not get frustrated with the lack of the execution in the run game?
I know how Samaj is. He's a humble guy. He's not going to speak up or say anything. I mean, he knows how good he is, and we know how good he is. Obviously it's frustrating for him to not have that many yards. I think he only had 30-something, but he's a team guy, and he's gonna go with whatever's working. And Joe's a big part of our passing game right now, so he's not saying much either. I mean, we're just focused on winning, and so they're not complaining about the ball.
You've been quarterback for a couple of years now. How hard is it for running backs to pick up blitzes and learn how pass protection when they move from high school to college?
It's an adjustment they have to make, because I'm sure they didn't have to make many pass blocks in high school, since they're kind of guy that was getting the ball every play. But I mean, they know what they have to do, and they know their job. They're good at it, so just move forward.
Baker, you mentioned playing faster. You guys are so good in tempo, and I think that's what you're talking about there. What's the answer? Just avoiding the lost yardage plays, or what is the answer there?
I mean, when we have a negative play, if it's an incompletion or just like a 1-yard loss, we can still get lined up and play faster. When we give a defense time to line up and blitz all the different types of looks that we hadn't seen in film, like Texas did, I mean, that's hard for the O-line to pick up when they haven't seen it before. And the drives that we actually were successful on were when we were going up tempo, and they had to play their base defense. And I mean, they're tired, and you get them in that base defense, and you're able to execute. And so we gotta go out there and play a little bit faster every drive, and just have that intensity.
Baker, you talk about not executing like you guys wanted to these last 7 games of the regular season. How do you develop that consistency, that mindset that every quarter, every game is going to be, you guys are going to have that higher level?
Pay attention to the details. I mean, it's one play at a time. And then if you have a negative one, the most important one's the next play. You just got to move on and focus on your job. It's consistency all comes in the focus. And the lack of focus hurt us to the details, and that's where you saw we struggle a little bit.
Did you ever feel out of that game, down and out when you were down?
Not at all. I mean, it was 17-3 at one point, and we've seen that score in Tennessee, and we were talking about that on the sidelines. We've been able to come back and fight back. We were always in the game. We fought to the very end, and I mean our attitude and fight for the game was all there. It was just the lack of execution.
Based on the way your schedule sets up, it looks like you're going to have plenty of opportunities to get back into the mix. Is it safe to say that your goals have not changed? Or
they haven't changed at all. I mean, you look at it, not many teams at all go undefeated anymore. And so, I mean, last year, Ohio State won the national championship. They lost to a Virginia Tech team at home early on. And they moved on and they fought back. Like I said, you can't harp on the loss. It can make you better or it can make you worse. So right now, we're just trying to use it as fuel.
Was it hard to get acclimated to that environment on Saturday?
I wouldn't say so. No, I mean we've played in front of 105,000 in an actual away game, so I feel like we were pretty prepared for that.
Did you talk to your teammates after the game? Did anyone stand up in the locker room? Or was that the dynamic even there?
We talked to him. Captains got up and talked. Coach Stoops talked to us. I mean, he talked about he said the Ohio State thing. So did Coach Riley. He talked about how we can use it as positive fuel and learn from it. And I mean, it wasn't a negative thought, even though everybody was pissed off about losing. Just trying to stay positive.
You have a situation like this. What's the dynamic with you and Coach Riley throughout this week when you look back at film and you say this wasn't working, can we try some of this? Can you talk about some of that back and forth that you guys go over?
I mean, we looked at it, and like I said, we need to play faster. I mean, and that happens. When teams want to load it up the box and blitz all their crazy stuff for us for the run game, I mean, they're going to execute it because when they want to load up that many people in the box, it's outnumbering us. And so we got to be able to play faster, and that's something we talked about. And just getting the ball out of my hands to help the O-line out and get the ball in the playmakers' hands is going to help everybody out.
Baker, going on the road in the Big 12, never easy. Going to K-State, never easy. After the close call they gave TCU and the loss you guys had on Saturday, does the DEFCON level go up another notch with this game? I don't think we're going to treat it as any differently than any other game, but we got to be ready for a Kansas State team that's going to give us their best shot. I mean, they gave TCU down to the wire, like you said, and so we're going into their place, and it's a tough environment to play at, and so we got to be ready to come in there with the attitude and be hungry about it.
As a quarterback, how important was it for you to build trust with this offensive line, and how important again is it to not lose that trust after 6 sacks and only 60 rushing yards?
It's tough when you have an off day up front. I mean, when they get after us, I can't look at it any differently. I can't carry that over into practice or the next game. I got to be able to sit in there and make my reads, and like I said, get the ball out of my hands a little bit quicker and help them out. And when I do that, it's going to make their job easier. It's going to ease up the pass rush, and I mean, we'll see a difference.
What kind of response did you get from folks back home after that game? Were people ribbing you? Were they supporting you personally? What kind of response did you get?
Back home, I mean, I talked to my parents, so that's support. Other than that, I mean, I had a couple people say, good game, keep your head up. I mean, just try and stay positive.
Baker, with the sacks and the pressure that you're getting, the scrambling, the most natural thing would be to get happy feet. Can you talk about the challenge it is for you back there? It seems like you've handled that pretty well, but it has to get old, the pressure coming all the time.
Like I said right there, I mean, I got to go through my read still no matter what's happening. I mean, there's times when I can get out of the pocket, and there's times when I need to sit in there. And one of the key plays where I almost decided to tuck the ball and run, I actually sat in the pocket and delivered a ball to McKay quick, and it was one of our biggest passing gains. So there's times when I just need to sit in there and trust my reads, and then when I feel the pressure, I need to dump it off, and that's what I'll be working on this week.
Dumping it off mean throwing it away sometimes, taking an incompletion, or you
throwing it at the feet, I mean, getting it out of my hands just in any way possible.
At times, some of your best drives were when Dimitri was in the game. How much does it help kind of having a little extra blocker, having some plays where you can get some max protect?
With Dimitri, it's a personnel set. They have to play him as a fullback, and he can line up and play receiver too. So, I mean, that's just a mismatch. It's kind of like the Mark Andrews. They're versatile, so defenses kind of have to pick their poison, what they're going to do. They can either play the run game, and we'll send him out in the flat like he did. He had a good catch, or 2 good catches on the touchdown too. And so they're versatile. We can kind of do a lot of things with them.
Why did Andrews not get any balls thrown his way?
I mean, stuff happens. I mean, it's a different offense. It's an air raid offense. Not one guy's going to get the majority of the balls. And so you're going to see games where people don't get as many passes, and then it's going to happen.